Hello everyone, my name is Joe. Welcome back to the channel of... I almost said my intro from my other channel. No, this is a channel where you're going to witness the ridiculous journey of me as I will eventually find myself being interned, hospitalized in a mental institution, which will make my mom so much more prouder than being published in a really cool magazine. Anyway, has anyone read that story about the astronaut that is just found sleeping in the bed somewhere one day? No? I'm gonna link it. Anyway, what have I been up to? Well, I've been trying not to lose my brain because it is burning. You know the priest from Fleabag in the very last episode, the hot priest, in the very last episode where he isn't sure if his heart, if his soul is burning from loving Fleabag or from loving God. My soul is burning. My brain is burning. And you know what? The construction man just arrived for the afternoon, so it's gonna be noisy again. Ugh. What if I just record over the noise? What if I just did that? We're going to overcome the background noise, and I'm going to tell you the gist of the last few weeks for me. I've been writing a lot, like somehow almost every day, which is fucking insane. If you've been doing this, if you do this, whether you're an amateur or a professional, I feel like everyone can agree that writing every day is absolutely freaking insane for the majority of us. And yet, it's been happening to me. For me, by me. I've been making it happen. I'm looking into the screen and I look like a freaking vampire. I don't know if it is my lighting or the fact that the little bit of tan that I got in the Portuguese summer has faded because it's been like gloomy for weeks. But I look so pale. Maybe I need to edit the video and like make it a little bit different. Why does the skin in my face look paler than the skin in my neck? Oh my God. Anyway, I've been writing a lot. I've been working on short stories mostly, which is kind of a turn of events. I was never really a short story person, and I started writing them because I just had these ideas in my head, and everything can't be a book. So I started writing them, and it's just so much fun. Writing a short story is so much fun. And earlier in the year, I got one accepted for publication, which I recently found out that is going to be part of an anthology. And now I'm like, you guys wouldn't believe the silly shit that I'm doing these days. So when I was doing my master's degree in psychology, which I have a master's in psychology, after I finished my master's, my advisor was like, "Girl, do you want to stay for a PhD? Maybe you work so hard. It would be cool to have you in the team." And back then I said, "Oh, of course." Of course. Did I do the PhD? No. I didn't, because medical reasons got in the way. But back then, I still got to the point where we were working on my master's dissertation and like working it to become a couple of articles to publish in like scientific journals. And the method that my advisor told me is we always start at the top. We start with the best journals, and when we get rejected, we go down the list of journals until we land at the best possible place for your article. And I never forgot that. It's always been in my brain. So this is what I've been doing. I started at the top. I mean, I'm not the person that sends a story to every single place because I'm not demented. So what I do is I read the submission guidelines. I read like articles from the editors and like opinions and interviews from the editors because this is important to know what they want to read. And then I read some of the stories. If I find a journal that I think might be good for a story and they don't have available stories like for free on the website, I usually just pass on it. Unless I can read like articles or interviews from the editors that kind of give me a sense of what they are looking for and what they appreciate. Otherwise, I just pass on it, to be honest. But this is actually how I kind of managed to get that one story earlier in the year accepted, is just because I knew it would be a good fit for the one place that accepted it. Like I had been reading their stories for a while. It's a new, like maybe a couple of years old review, but I knew it would fit well with the kind of stuff they had been publishing, so I sent it there knowing that it had a chance of being accepted, and then it was. So that's what I've been doing in terms of like submitting and being rejected. And also the fun thing that has been happening is, I talked about this in the previous video, that I feel like I'm finding common ground in my voice. Like, I feel certain elements in my stories that are just very particularly mine, and it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. But the thing is, there's this one story that I wrote like ages ago. It was a flash fiction, and then I turned into a short story through like being rejected from places and getting kind of feedback from those places and shenanigans. And now it started as a 600 like word little flash fiction, and now it's like 3,500 words, and I'm submitting it like a bunch of really cool, like well-established places that I've been, reading the stories for a while. I know they appreciate this kind of stuff, and they usually publish this kind of stuff. So I just shot my shot. Anyway, so eventually when those rejections come, I will go down the list. And that's basically what I've been doing. And then I also started, guys, you wouldn't believe the level of delusional thinking happening in this head on currently, but I've been working, because I also have been working on a longer project. Okay, I am working on a novel, and I'm not working on it like obsessively working on it every day or always working on that. It's like I'm a very slow person. Not mentally, I hope, but I work very slowly, and I've been working on it like a little bit here and there. But when I started writing it, I was doing it a lot more consistently, and I think the thing I need is just distance, because the themes, the major theme in the story is very close to home in a way, and what I've been feeling like is that I need distance from home. So I have almost no publishing credits. I've published a few stuff, but like nothing major. Like I don't have that thing where like you go to the credits of a short story and it says like Zachary has published many fiction in such places as this and more, and has won like 3,000 awards and whatever. Like I don't have that. But still, in my delusional brain, I made like a goddamn document with writing residencies in Europe, because no one in their right mind is going to the US in this moment in time. And I like classify them from like regarding my chances of being accepted from absolutely dismal to medium to low. This is the best that I could find. It was medium to low, which is places who accept people who are yet unpublished. But even those places, which I found maybe 2 or 3 that accept very early on writers who don't have a published novel or collection of poems or collection of short stories or anything like that. But even in those places, like the people who are accepted that are very early career have some publications and sometimes a couple of awards. So while I'm working towards that as well, I also am starting to prepare applicate, because why not? I'm not going to be accepted in anything, but I'm going to have the practice. And that's my delusional brain thinking that if I manifest it, if I imagine in my head that I can get there. But yeah, like right now while writing a lot and reading a lot, like I'm enjoying a lot of short stories. I've been finding, and this is the thing that maybe is a little bit part of the trick, I've been finding that there are publications out there that publish short stories that like just keep me going. It's not like I'm forcing myself to read these short stories to try to figure out if mine would fit there. Is that I start reading them and I'm like, oh, I want more. Give me another one. And this has been kind of a revelation to me, because I've had this experience before when I try to read stuff that is published by these very like big places, and I think I don't vibe with it that much. Like maybe I'm the problem, Maybe I just don't understand this very high brow piece or whatever. And then I find certain publications like journals, reviews, and quarterlies and whatever, and I enjoy them. I find stories that I enjoy. I find publications that consistently publish the kind of fiction that I enjoy, and I think, oh, this kind of stuff does exist. Like I will have a place somewhere, and I'm not too stupid to understand those stories, just I don't vibe with them, but I vibe with these. And And then I got lost in what I was saying. But oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm writing, I'm submitting, and I'm delusionally thinking of what other options do I have and what other literary worlds I can explore. And one of the things I've been kind of dreaming about is a writing residency. One, because I want to go somewhere and just have the isolation and the tranquility to be able to actually write all day long. And also, like, have someone pay for my stay and pay for my food so I don't have to worry about that. But two is I've been living in the Portuguese countryside for a while now, and it's barren. Like, wonderful people, lovely people, very barren. So one of the things I really, really want to, and I've been like longing for a long time, and it can't be virtual. Like, I need to be face to face with these people. One of the things I really want is just a community of writers or artists, people I can bounce ideas off of, and just like all day long, every day, for a couple of months, just talk about our artistic projects, our artistic minds, just be able to have these conversations with someone. Sometimes it's something as simple as having read the same book and being able to have like a one-on-one conversation about our observations and feelings about the book. Because honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm the only person in like freaking 15, 20, 50 kilometers who's read this book or that, and it's just, I feel like I need to find myself in a community of my people. And it's not to say that like the people around me are not my people. Obviously they are, like I'm from here, but it's just different, you know, like I want to be able to talk about three men in the boat and like they know what I'm talking about, you know. I want to be able to talk about human acts and not just get, oh, how interesting. So you're going tomorrow, you're going to this, like, you know, so yeah, that's the whole of like this video. It's just me telling you how absolutely demented I have become, because, and this has been a major thing in my life for months, potentially more than that at this point, that I'm constantly anxious about the future of humanity. That as democracy heads to collapse, I sometimes have a hard time falling asleep. And that's just the truth. I sometimes have a hard time falling asleep because of the imminent collapse of society. And it's just, I've gotten to a point where if ever I'm going to pursue my delusional dreams, it's now, before it collapses, you know? And I mean, in my core, of course, I know that it's not going to collapse. It's like that. But also, isn't this just a great excuse to pursue your wildest dreams? Isn't it? So that's what I'm doing. I have this gigantic master file, like an Excel sheet with all the tabs that I need. I have it with my current project, with my published stuff. I have it like a huge list of literary magazines. I have a huge list of residencies and fellowships. I have another one for awards and prizes. I have one for grants, because you can get a grant for a certain project. And I've gone completely, like, dementedly, obsessively insane over this. And yeah, I see no ending in sight. So I guess this is just a video for me to tell you that I've gone insane in the pursuit of my desires in a collapsing society. And that's the only answer I found to deal with my anxiety about the future, is just to pursue my dreams, I guess.